So, how was my life resurrected? I feel like sometimes I do get disappointed in myself because I feel like there hasn't been a lot of change. But when I look back, I think, wow, God is amazing. I think about Romans 12 too, about being transformed by the renewing of our minds. And I thought, my mind is completely different than it was before I was baptized. I have met people that I would have never even smiled at, let alone given the time of day, and just learned so much from those type of people just because I view the world differently. I view the world as lost and not a burden or somebody that's draining me. To see people through God's eyes is just a really different perspective for me. I was always very selfish and very um, schedule oriented and self absorbed, and I feel like um, even my perspective on struggles, you can get mad about the situation that you're in, or now I just see it as God's trying to refine me so I can live with Him in heaven forever. And it's actually really comforting. Praying is completely different. I used to pray rote prayers. Now I pray with people. I pray out loud. I pray about everything. And I just pour my heart out to God. And that's so different for me than my past, just because I never knew that I could really talk to God like that. I also view giving much differently. Giving is, I see it as a privilege, whereas before it was something that was an expectation or um, something that we had to do, or a burden that we thought, well, this will get returned to me at some point. But it's an awesome feeling to know that being able to give just without any expectation of return just makes me more like Jesus, and that's the whole goal. The importance of each part of the body. I've had such a different view on that now. Every person in the body has an important strength that you would have never known was there. I know people now that only I could know because we have God in common. So I think when I talk about how my life is resurrected, I think my whole perspective on life has been resurrected.
So, I have a confession to make. I've always been two things in my entire life. I've been a runner and I've been a planner. And it's not like the 26.2 miles, woohoo kind of run. It's the at the first sign of trouble, run fast and run far. So there's that. And I've also been like a top-notch list maker, control the ship, win the war kind of person with color-coded plans and alphabetized, and I want God to take notes. Sit back, relax, I got this. So, what happens when your plans fail and you can't run because there's nowhere to go and you just have to sit there and wait? Well, that's what I'm finding out really well in this season. In my season of restoration, God has done a lot for me. He has taught me the power of perseverance. So, fun fact, outrunning your problems is the grown-up equivalent of trying to outrun your life, and you really can't do that. So, God has taught me the power of just staying really close to Him, of being in His scripture, of being in relationships, so that when my brain starts to go a little woohoo, that God always brings me back into a safe place where I know it's okay to wait. Waiting has such a negative connotation, but custom work takes time. You can't just expect a master cabinet to be built in a couple of days, unless it's from IKEA. But let's be real, what kind of quality are you getting from IKEA? So, I've been resurrected in my ability to be patient and to know that God is taking care of things. I already confessed to being a grade A control freak, and something that God doesn't like is when people do that. So, in this season of resurrection, I'm learning a lot of lessons about what to do and what not to do. As much as I'm not totally surrendered to it, God has been teaching me a lot of lessons through waiting that I wouldn't have gotten anywhere else. And as I said, custom workmanship takes time. He's not going to give me something that's not perfect for me, but I need to wait and be patient and stay close to Him as I do it. And as awful as this season has been, I've been through a lot, just to say a little. But He's shown me the restoration of my faith. That He doesn't want something wobbly. He wants something that's absolutely perfect. He's gonna take his time to do it too. And you know what? I'm okay with that. So when my plans fall apart and when there's nowhere else to run and I just have to stay where I'm put, I guess what does that leave me with? Restoration, resurrection, and life.